Hi class. Lesson number 3 is a PDF file that you're going to click on the online website, and you basically just read it yourself and it's self-explanatory, but I wanted to give you this calculator enhancement for the lesson. So you're just going to click on the PDF file, read everything that's in here. The lesson talks about mean and standard deviation, and in the lesson it goes into talk about what standard deviation is all about. That's the emphasis of this lesson. The standard deviation symbol, if you notice right here, is either, that's a curly looking sigma, so it's a Greek letter. It looks like a curly 6, but it's sigma sub n minus 1, or sometimes they have s. For this enhancement, we're going to use the TI-83 calculator. I want you to get familiar with how this is. So basically read the rest of this, and I think it's 4 pages long, but I just wanted to show you how to put these in your calculator. So for data set number 1, the question asks for the mean and the standard deviation. So we're going to try and find the mean here and the standard deviation here. Now we're not going to find the mean ever again by adding up the data and dividing by how many pieces of data, because that won't get you the standard deviation, and you want to always give the mean with the standard deviation. They always go together. So in order for us to get the standard deviation, you're going to either have to do it the old formula way, which is the long way, which we really don't want to do, so that's why we're going to use our calculator, so we don't have to do that long formula. The formula, by the way, is an ugly looking thing that we don't use this semester. The formula is the square root of the sum of data minus mean squared over n minus 1. That's the formula. And so we're bypassing this formula. We're saying we don't want to do that formula. And so we're just going to use the calculator. And here we go. So in your TI-83 calculator, if you notice under stat, which is right here, let me turn it on, under stat, and you get a list that looks like this, and the first thing you want to do is you want to edit. So we're going to hit enter. And you're going to have lists. Now if you have anything in the list already, I have some in there, then the easy thing to do is hit the up arrow key, highlight the list, and then hit the clear button. And then if you down arrow back into the list, that actually clears the list. It's a lot easier than hitting delete all the time. So again, I'm going to left arrow, I'm going to highlight L1 because there's stuff in there, I don't want it. I'm going to hit the clear button, and then I'm going to hit the down arrow, and now I have everything out of the list. So I'm going to start from scratch. And what you do for data set number 1, basically you just put all the numbers in. So we're going to put 100 in, and then 84, hit enter, 125, hit enter, 99, hit enter, 84, hit enter, and then we're going to put in 74 and 85. Now once you get all the data set in, okay, just like it is on the left there, we're going to then go back to stat right here. We're going to arrow over to calculate, and everything this semester is going to be one variable, which is already highlighted. We're going to hit enter. And then you have to put in the column that you stored that data in the calculator, which happened to be L1, L for list. So we're gonna find L1 right there, if you notice, and it's gold. Sometimes they're blue, depends on the calculator. But we got to hit second function and then hit number 1, and I'm going to scroll down. You'll see there's the L1. And if we hit enter, we get a bunch of awesome things here. We got the mean, which is 93, so I'm going to put that answer right here. The mean is 93. And then the standard deviation is the 4th one down. Ignore that, and then standard deviation is 16.81. So we're going to put that down there for our answer. And that's all this particular question asked for. But now you get some other answers in here which are nice. N equals 7, that's n is the number of data. If we keep arrowing down, we're going to get some awesome things. We have the minimum, we have the quartile 1, the median, quartile 3, the maximum. So that basically right there is your box plot, and from there again you can calculate the range, which is maximum minus minimum. You can there's your quartile, so you can also find the interquartile range, and then you can use the lower fence and upper fence formulas to find those. And if you keep on arrowing down, that's it. So a lot of extra stuff in there. So for your exams, you can always just use this TI-83 to get these quartiles, Q1, Q2, Q3. The median, of course, is Q2. So let's do the second data set. We'll do data set number 3. So I'm going to go back into stat. I'm going to hit the stat button. I'm going to go back to edit. So I'm going to hit enter. I want to clear, so I'm going to up arrow and I'm going to highlight L1. I'm going to hit clear and I'm going to down arrow back in. And I'm just going to enter in the data in data set number 3. All right, here we go. 189 and 65 and 13 and negative 37, 398, 147, 111, and 405. And once we get it all in there, we're going to go back to stat, calculate. We're going to hit one variable statistics, and then again we're going to put in the column that I stored it in, which is L1, which is right there. So second function L1, and we're going to hit enter. And the mean is 161.375. We're going to use 2 decimal places. So the mean is 161.38. And the standard deviation, that's the symbol for standard deviation. And that is in the calculator. Let me highlight it there. 164 SX. SX is the standard deviation symbol that's used for the TI-83. 164.537, so we're going to round that to a 54. So 164.54. And again, they give you some other things. Ignore this one, this S, capital SX, standard deviation symbol. We're not going to use that SX for our notes because that's really not the statistical textbook symbol. The sigma sub n minus 1 is the textbook symbol. And ignore the rest. That's sigma x, that's a population standard deviation. We don't work with that. And then this is sample size of 8. If you down arrow again, there's your minimum, there's your quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, and maximum. So it's all in there. Okay, pretty good. And then as you go on into this PDF file, you read a little more. You get to something known as grouped data. So that was single pieces of data we just did a second ago, where you put things in individually. This is grouped data. So here's how you put this in your calculator. You're given a range. And notice there are 3 people or 3 things in this 100 to 109 range. We don't know exactly where the 3 are. We don't know if all 3 are 100 or one of the 3 is 100, the other one is 101, the other one's 102. We have no idea the value of those 3 or where the value in the range here for those 4 are, and etc. We don't know what they are. So what we do is we basically make it up and we lie, but we do a conservative lie. And a conservative lie is we make each piece of data the middle of the range. So the middle of 100 to 109 is 104.5. So we're going to enter in our calculator 3 of those. And then the middle of that is 114.5. We're going to enter in 4 of those, and then 5 of those, and 2 of those, and 6 of those, and 3 of those. All right, here's how it works. Let me see if I can do this like this. There we go. So if I hit the stat key, I go to edit, and I want to clear that list. Okay, L1 is your actual data, and that is not the frequencies, but that's actually the numbers. So we're going to put in 104.5 and 114.5 and 124.5, 144.5 and 154.5. So that's the data. Then we're going to go over here, and L2 is going to act as your frequency for each of these numbers. So we're going to put in the frequency for 104.5. The frequency happens to be 3, if you notice right there. And then the frequency is 4 for the 114.5, and then 5, and then 2, and then 6, and then 3. So that's what it looks like. So L1 is going to be your values, and L2 is going to be your frequencies. How we calculate it now is we're going to have to hit the stat key. We're going to go to calculate again. We're going to keep it on one variable statistics. We hit enter. But now you have to put in L1, so second function L1, but then we got to put in comma, which is above number 7, and then we're going to have to hit second function and then L2. And if you notice, this is going to calculate that for the mean and the standard deviation and all the rest. And that's the syntax that you got to put it in. We're going to hit enter, and your mean is 130.15. So I'll put that right here. Your mean 130.15. Okay, and the standard deviation is the SX 16.74. So there's only 2 ways that you can enter data. You either enter it if the data is given to you individually. So I'm going to skip back again to the first part. These are all individually. So there's your 4 data sets. And each piece of data is just given individually as just a single piece of data. And that you just put in L1 columns. If for some reason the data set is grouped, like here, then you're going to put in with the frequencies for each of those values. And that's how you find the mean and standard deviation. There is no third way to find mean and standard deviation. It's either one of those two. All right, so what we're going to do is I want you to click on the PDF file that I'm looking at right here. I want you to read through the PDF file. It's only 4 pages long, and I want to make sure that you understand it. So please read it thoroughly, and then this is a little calculator enhancement just to show you how we actually did it. Okay, good luck.